Hey there everyone, so Qwen has released their much awaited Qwen 3 coder model. They are saying agentic coding in the world. So this is a non-thinking model guys, let me tell you that, and the full name of the model is Qwen 3 coder 480B A35B, which means 400 billion total parameters and 35 billion active parameters. It has a context length of 256k natively, and it can extrapolate to 1 million tokens with various extrapolation methods like yarn and something else. It is the new state of the art when it comes to open source models, and its performance is very close to Claude Sonnet 4. We'll look at the benchmarks very soon. If we look about its training information, it has been trained on 7.5 trillion tokens guys, insane number, and 70% of the data was related to code because it is a coding specific model, so it has a 70% code ratio. Also, they used synthetic data. What they did is they used Qwen 2.5 coder to clean and rewrite the noisy data and improve the data quality. If we look at its performance in SweBench verified, you can see it is a highly renounced benchmark for agentic coding. Claude Sonnet 4 has a score of 70.4% and Qwen 3 coder scores 69.6%. This is in 500 turns. You can see the performance is very close, less than 1% difference. So these are benchmarks, but we have to test it. Is this model any good? Let's find out guys. Today we'll be testing Qwen against one of the best agentic coding model, that is Claude 4 Sonnet. So you can see towards my left we have Qwen 3 coder and towards my right we have Claude Sonnet 4. First we'll be testing on coding questions that we usually do. Then we'll be going into agentic coding and some real life use cases. So please make sure to stick around till the end. The complexity of the questions will be increasing one after the other. With that being said, let's get started. By the way guys, just to be fair, I have disabled reasoning in Claude 4 Sonnet because we are comparing non-thinking variants, so that is that. The first question is, can you draw a dragon in a web page using HTML, CSS and JS? Show side view of the dragon and give your best implementation in one single code. Let's send this to both models and let's see what they come up with. Okay everyone, we have got the responses from both models. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's copy the code, open up HTML viewer and paste it. So okay, this is not that good guys. It has the option to flap wings. If we click that, it flaps the wings. If I click fly animation, then nothing is happening. If I click breathe fire, it is breathing fire but in the opposite direction. It's not that good guys, not that good. Let's move on to Claude 4 Sonnet. Let's open up HTML viewer, let's paste that and let's preview it. Okay, so comparatively we can see it is significantly better, although the wings are kind of in the opposite direction, but we are clearly able to distinguish the body, legs, tail, head and everything. I have to say guys, one of the best implementation was from Kimi K2 and Claude 3.7 Sonnet. But let's do one thing, we'll just give some feedback to these models. So we don't want to be too specific, so what we are sending to both of these models are, it barely looks like a dragon, give me your best. Let's send this and let's see what we get. Okay everyone, we have got the updated responses from both models. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's open up HTML viewer, let's paste that and let's preview it. Okay, so now we are able to clearly distinguish the head and the nose and the wings I guess. So it's comparatively better, but as we know the starting itself was not that good, so nothing much can be expected. Also the fire is coming out in the opposite direction. Let's move on to Claude Sonnet. Let's open up HTML viewer, let's paste that and let's preview it. Okay, so it seems like the same dragon but it has just a bit more texture and stuff like that. Not the very best that I've seen, but kind of okay. So comparatively I would have to say that Claude 4 Sonnet is better in this one. Let's move on to the next question. By the way guys, do stick around because we'll be testing on some real world examples when we'll be doing the agentic coding. Having said that, let's move on to the second question. Build the absolute best implementation of a Super Mario game in a web page without using any external assets and in one single code. So let's send this to both models. Okay everyone, we have got the responses from both models. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's open up HTML viewer, let's paste that and preview it. So okay, I mean the whole game is actually completed in a single screen. So there is no option to actually, move front. Everything is contained in this screen, even the way to win. Okay, so I'm moving here and there, but it doesn't say game over or you win or anything like that. It says reach the flag, so I've reached the flag, but still it's not that functional. So I would say kind of an okay response, not that good. The scoreboard and everything looks good. Let's move on to Claude 4 Sonnet. Let's open up HTML viewer, let's paste that and preview it. Okay, so Right off the back, you can see guys, it looks significantly better. Also, when I kill the enemies, you can see the score kind of goes up exactly like the original game. You also have power-ups, I guess. Yes. Okay, I have to catch it. Yes. It looks awesome, guys. Very close to the real game. Absolutely insane. Let's see if we are able to actually win. Okay, this board is actually very long. Kind of opposite to what Qwen gave us. Okay, we do have a flag here. Let's see what happens when we cross it. It says level complete. So it is significantly better response, guys. A clear win for Claude 4 Sonnet. And I would say Qwen was not even close. I mean, it looks good, but Claude 4 Sonnet response is significantly better. Let's move on to the next question, guys. Create a JavaScript animation of falling letters. Let's send this to both models. Let's wait for their responses. Okay, everyone, we have got the responses from both models. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's copy the code, open up HTML viewer and paste it. And okay, we do see letters falling. Nice. They have a trailing glow kind of thing, as you can see. But guys, I'm not able to actually interact with the letters. The ball is actually not functioning. You can see I'm not able to interact with the letters. Okay, let's keep this aside and let's move on to Claude for Sonnet. Let's copy the code, open up HTML viewer and paste it. Okay, we do see the letters. Even here we have a trail kind of thing behind the letters. Here the letters are actually interacting with the ball, as you can see. So without wasting any time, clearly we can say that Claude 4 Sonnet is better here. So it is a win for Claude 4 Sonnet. Okay everyone, so we have done some questions on front end aesthetics. Let's move on to back end. So this will be a question based on Python. The question is, write a Python code for a hollow circle with an opening. There are two balls inside it, and whenever a ball exits, two new balls appear. The models have to get the collision right and everything should be awesome. Let's see what they come up with. Okay everyone, we have got the responses from both models. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's paste the code and let's run it. Okay, we do have two balls guys, but they are kind of staying in the bottom. I can hit space to add balls. That is nice, but they are not bouncy as it is asked in the prompt. Okay, let's move on to Claude for Sonnet. Let's copy the code, paste that and let's run it. Okay, we do see two balls. Okay guys, you can see it is increasing in number, but it is happening when the balls are actually falling towards the downside. The opening is mentioned at the top, but they are exiting from the bottom side and they are increasing in number, so that is not something which should be happening. So comparatively I think Qwen was better in this one guys, so that's the point to Qwen. Now let's ask them to create a state-of-the-art Pacman game in Python. Let's see what they do. Okay everyone, we have got the responses. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's copy the code, let's paste that and let's run it. Okay, it says Pacman space to start. Okay, I've hit space. The ghosts are moving guys, but I don't see Pacman anywhere, so that is not working. Let's give this feedback to. So I'm sending I don't see the Pacman. Also the maze is poorly designed. Identify other errors and fix them and give me the best possible code. Having said that, let's move on to Claude Sonnet. Let's paste that and let's run it. Okay, we do see a maze, but you can see the maze closed paths. You can't actually move from one place to another, so it is a very poorly designed maze. Also the Pacman is kind of stuck at the top, so both have given equally bad response, so we'll mention the same thing. Okay everyone, we have got the responses. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's copy the code, let's paste that and let's run it. Okay, Pacman space to start. Okay, things are moving, but everything is actually following a zigzag pattern guys. You can see the Pacman is moving, but it is kind of moving in a zigzag fashion, but at least it is working. That is good to see. Also we are able to eat the ghost as well. It is kind of a working response, but not that good. Let's move on to Claude 4 Sonnet. Let's copy the code, let's paste that and let's run it. Okay, so it has connected the lines, but guys, I don't see the Pacman. I think it is the one at the very top. Not that great guys. So comparatively again a win for Qwen. Now let's do one thing. Let's ask them to create a music visualizer in Python. So this should be also a backend coding task. Let's see if they are able to actually do it. Okay everyone, we have got the responses. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's copy the code, paste that and let's run it. Okay, we do see some balls over here. It says open audio file, so let me open up a song. Okay, let's play this one. So the song is loaded. Let's play that. Okay, so it's saying playing, but I don't hear anything. Let's wait for a while. Okay, it says timers cannot be started from another thread, so we are having some thread issues. Let's stop and play again. So no, it's not working guys. Let's move on to Claude 4 Sonnet. Let's copy the code, let's paste that and let's run it. So now you can see guys, it says advanced audio visualizer and you can see the UI is very nice guys. compared to Qwen. You can see the play, pause and stop buttons look absolutely awesome. We also have a scrolling bar. Okay, it crashed. Let's run it again. Okay, let's choose the audio. Okay, so I have loaded the audio, guys. Let's play that. Okay, that didn't run. It actually crashed. So it is a fail from both models. You can see, guys, when it comes to backend coding, if the stuff becomes actually a bit difficult, so the models start to actually fail. The reason is they are not the absolute best and state of the art. That is the reason they are failing. So I'll have to give a 0 to both. So we have done some backend coding questions. Now let's move on to frontend again. The question is, create the best implementation of the game Angry Birds in HTML, CSS and JS and in one single code. Let's see, guys, what they come up with. Okay everyone, we have got the responses. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's copy the code, open up HTML viewer, let's paste that and let's preview it. Let's go to full screen. Okay, we do see a bird kind of thing, but I don't know how to actually align it properly. Let's see what happens when I release it. Okay, directly goes towards the top. It says try again. So we don't have clear instructions how to play and stuff. Anyways, let's keep that aside. Let's move on to Claude for Sonnet. Let's open up HTML viewer, let's paste that and let's preview it. We'll move on to full screen and okay, we have clouds moving, we have the birds as well, and you can see we have the pig and one of them is the king, I guess. Also when we aim, you can see we get a dotted trail where the bird is going to land. Let's see what happens. Okay, it actually worked, guys. Let me try it again. I'll try to hit the king. Okay, I missed again. Let's do it once again. I think there should have been a restart button how we had in Qwen. Let's see, guys. Okay, we are able to hit them and that looks absolutely awesome, guys. It is a working game. So comparatively, I have to say that it is a clear win for Claude 4 Sonnet again. Okay everyone, so let's ask them to create a portfolio website. And this is not going to be any other normal website. It is interactive and has characters to interact with. So they have to get creative and make it one of the world's best. At least that is what I'm saying in the prompt. Let's see what they come up with. Okay everyone, we have got the responses. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's copy the code, open up HTML viewer. Let's paste that and let's preview it. Okay, it says portfolio world. Create digital experience that inspire. So it shows my skills. It is nice, but you can see this idea spark button. It is kind of overlaying and let's see what happens when we click it. Okay, you can see I have clicked it here, but the box appears at the top. So things are not aligned, guys, and I don't know what this means. I think it is related to code. Let's click the code bot button and you can see a dialog box kind of appears. Nice. We have get in touch and a way to actually fill up a form. We have a chat pal. So if I hit the chat pal again, I think okay. Again, you can see the button is right at the bottom, but the dialog box appears at the top of the page. Let's see about Design Guru. Same is with Design Guru. You can see it appears at the top. So things are not aligned, guys. I do like this animation. You can see these icons are kind of getting lifted. You can see it looks kind of good, but it has some things here and there. Let's move on to Claude 4 Sonnet. Let's open up HTML viewer. Let's paste that and let's preview it. It says welcome to Alex Universe, an interactive digital experience. Now you can see the cursor is actually mapped to the website. This is what I see with most of the Anthropic web models. They are very good at this. It says enter the universe. I do like how the button is getting highlighted, guys. It is really like an environment. If I hit enter the universe, okay, that animation was nice. It says first contact, welcome to the interactive something, about, skills, home, contact, projects. Let's hit projects. Okay, we have a pop-up says featured projects, eco tracker, creatives, space, health sync, code quest. Looks awesome, guys. We wanted an interactive website, not a generic website that we see always. That is what Qwen came up with, but this really looks like an interactive environment. Let's hit home. It says welcome home. GitHub, LinkedIn, Twitter, email. We also have contact, and if we hit contact, you can see we actually have a fill out form. If I hit send message, it says enter an email address. Okay. If I hit alex@example.com, you can see it is opening up the mails app. Let's see what is in the skills. Okay. It says Explorer, you have made 5 interactions with the environment. Okay. We also have kind of achievements. The more we interact, the more achievements we gather. Technical arsenal, front end, back end, database, clouds, and DevOps. About. So you can see about Alex Chen. Yeah, guys, it is significantly better and I think one of the best that I've seen. We also have some icons over here and there. If I click here, it says don't forget to look for hidden Easter eggs. Okay, Easter egg hunter, Easter egg 3. The universe has more secrets. I think here also we have an Easter egg. Let's click this button at the bottom. It says check out the project Silent for amazing creations. Let's hit this unicorn. It says magic happens when technology meets creativity. Okay, we also got a message that you have fully explored the page. Absolutely insane, guys. I mean, there is no comparison. This is what you can expect from Claude 4 Sonnet. That was a really good response, guys. By the way, let's move on to the final question. So now they have to build a website that shows our solar system. They have to use cinematic scrollytelling. So this is the scrolling animations that you see in websites like Apple. When you scroll the website, you can see the things start to move here and there, and all those animations. So they have to build a website like that. Let's send this to both models and let's see what they come up with. Okay, everyone, we have got the responses. Let's start off with Qwen. Let's open up HTML viewer. Let's paste that and let's preview it, and we'll do it in full screen. Okay, so we do see the title sun, and it was not able to fetch this image of a sun, but we see gas clouds. At the top, you can see we can actually move on to the planet that we want. That is nice. Also, we have information in this small rectangle. If we scroll, you can see each planet kind of appears, but it was not able to fetch the images. That is okay. We also have a scroll to explore icon at the bottom. It was able to fetch the image of the earth. That is nice. You can see the planets are kind of increasing in size and getting revealed. Kind of an okay response. Let's move on to Claude 4 Sonnet. Let's open up HTML viewer. Let's paste that. Let's preview it, and we'll do it in full screen. It says journey through the solar system, and I do like how it is glowing, guys. Absolutely awesome. It says scroll to begin. Let's scroll. Okay, we do see the sun and it is kind of rotating. We have these icons which show type, G type star, temperature, diameter and age. Showing key information in this small rectangles is actually very nice. Then we have Mercury. You can see it's kind of rotating. Distance from sun, day length, year length, temperature. Absolutely insane, guys. One of the best, I would say. Then we have Venus. So it was not able to fetch the correct image for Venus. Then we have Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So insane, guys. I will have to say it looks absolutely awesome. I have to say it's clearly one of the best that I've ever seen. So even for the last question, the point goes to Claude 4 Sonnet. So we tested 6 front-end questions and 3 back-end questions, guys. So if we look at the front-end questions, out of the 6 questions, in every single one, Claude 4 Sonnet was better, clearly showing that this model is for front-end design. So if you're building any kind of websites, or you have already built the backend, now you want a front end for it, in all those scenarios, Claude 4 Sonnet is the one to go. Talking about backend, we tested 3 backend questions, and out of which in none of them Claude 4 Sonnet was better. So it is a 0 out of 3 for backend. Moving on to Qwen, when it comes to front end, it got 0 out of 6. So in none of them it was better than Claude 4 Sonnet, whereas in backend it was better in 2 out of 3. So if you now look at the total scores, that is 2 out of 9 for Qwen and 6 out of 9 for Claude 4 Sonnet. So you saw in the testing as well, guys, when it comes to backend, Claude 4 Sonnet is not something that you should be using. You can go with OpenAI O3 or Claude 4 Opus. I would say OpenAI O3 is a better choice given its significantly cheaper price. But front end, there is no doubt Claude 4 Sonnet, and if you have the means, you can go with Claude 4 Opus as well. Talking about the Qwen model, yes, it was not able to beat Claude 4 Sonnet when it comes to design, and I'll have to say it doesn't even come close to Claude 4 Sonnet when it comes to front end design. When it comes to backend, it seems that it is actually better. If I'm being honest, it's actually not better, but the reason is Claude 4 Sonnet performed very bad. That is the reason we have a comparative advantage with Qwen model. So it in backend and anything in Python, maybe Qwen is slightly better, but it is not the best that you can get. I think the best will be Claude 4 Opus or OpenAI O3. So according to their claim, they do say that Claude 4 Sonnet Qwen 3 comes very close to Claude 4 Sonnet, but I don't think so. When you will be doing front-end design, you will notice the difference between these two models because Claude 4 Sonnet is very much better. And I strongly suggest you don't use these for backend. They will get stuff wrong. If it's a simple task, then both will be able to do it. But as the complexity increases, as you saw in the music equalizer question, they started to fall apart. Whereas Gemini 2.5 Pro, O3 and Claude 4 Opus were able to do it in one single go. So this was about the raw coding performance of the models, guys. At the core, how do they perform in coding? The biggest selling part of these models is agentic coding, and that is what even Qwen is trying to convey. So let's get into the agentic coding tasks. So for Qwen, I am using Roo code, and for Claude 4 Sonnet, I am using Cursor. So now you can have a look at the prompt, guys. It's kind of pretty long because we have to be detailed with these models. So the question is, you have to build a multi-page production ready website for an educational consultancy firm. They provided admissions to students who have graduated from their 12th grade in various colleges and courses based on their interest and conditions and other factors. All the details required are present in the code base, and also various assets are present. Identify them and build a production ready website. It should be a multi-page website and the absolute best that has ever been in existence, such that its elegance and professionalism and aura is unmatched. Give everything you got and build the website. Don't return to me until you have built it completely. So let's send this to both models. So now you can see both are acknowledging the issues, and now you can see both the models have started to read various files. Claude has started to read the JSON files, and similarly even the Qwen has started to read the JSON files. Again, you can see both have come up with their to-do lists. It is asking me to approve it, so I will approve the to-do list. So they are able to use this to-do list options. It means that both of them are very good in agentic coding. If you look at the to-do list of Qwen, it says plan website structure and design, create HTML structure for homepage, create CSS styling for responsive design, implement JavaScript, create about page, create course categories page, create individual course category pages, testimonials page, FAQ page, contact page, optimize for production, test all pages and functionality. I don't know how they will be testing it. Let's look at the to-do list of Claude for Sonnet. It says create HTML structure with semantic markup for all pages, design modest CSS framework, implement interactive JavaScript features like course filtering, search animations, build dynamic course pages with detailed information from JSON data, testimonials, carousel, FAQ, accordion components. So you can see the to-do list of Claude for Sonnet seems to be a bit more detailed. Implement the contact form with validation and professional styling, add advanced animations, optimize for performance. So it is not mentioning the pages in different points. It has mentioned it in a single point. Create HTML structure with semantic markup for all pages, that is index, courses, about, contact, testimonials, FAQ. Sometimes I do see that the models will not update it frequently, and just at the end from nothing to completely full. They will move from not even completing a single point to having completed all the points. It is nice to see Qwen 3 is moving point by point. Now you can see guys, Qwen is actually reading the files that it has generated. You can see it says let me read the final part of the CSS file to see the complete responsive design section and check if the about content styles were properly added. Now you can see it has read the file and come to this conclusion. I can see that the CSS file has been updated and the about page styles, but I noticed that the responsive design for the about content section is missing. Let me add that. So it is nice, it is going back to its generation and trying to fix its stuff. Okay, so it directly went from 6th point to the end point. So it says it has done all of the points that were mentioned in the to-do list. Only the last point is remaining: create comprehensive documentation and deployment guide. That is not required. So it seems that Claude is done with its response. We are going to have a homepage, courses.html, contact, and FAQ. It is nice, but I think Qwen has taken it to another level and it has created HTML pages for single course categories as well. By the way, if you are liking this video up until now, please do hit the like button. It really helps me a lot and the channel as well. And if you are subscribed, please ensure that you have put the notification bell to all so that you can know the latest updates from me. I do see a weird issue guys. You can see it is mentioning the same sentence 2 times. You can see now I'll create the law courses page as another example, and just below it you can see the sentence again. It is happening with other pages as well. Pharmacy courses, nursing courses. So it is kind of using extra tokens where it is not required. Okay guys, so I run out of credits and it is saying that I have to add the credits. So it is overdoing a lot of stuff guys, that I have to say. I don't want to stop it because I don't want to be unfair. It has used $7. Okay guys, it is getting its stuff done with minified CSS, something like that. I think I can stop it because it will not cause any changes and the price are actually skyrocketing. So let's pause at that and let's compare them. So let me open up Qwen's website and we'll also open up Claude's website. So I've opened up both of them. So this is the website it has come up with guys. Acme Education Services. It says we have our services: college admission, career counseling, financial guidance, and specialized support. So the SVG implementation it has come up with is very nice. It says popular course categories: medical, engineering, and management. We also have success stories, and you can see the testimonials are showing up. We have frequently asked questions right here. View all FAQs. So if you go on to view all FAQs, you can see we are able to see the questions and their responses. That is nice. Let's move back. We also have a contact us now button. I think it should have been contrasting with the background. The background is blue and the button is also blue. So that is not nice. Let's hit contact us now, and you have our location, phone number, email address, working hours, and we are able to fill up the contact form. We can also select the course category that we are interested in and send a message. We also have find us, and the map is visible. That is nice. The footer is also looking nice, guys. We also have icons for our socials. Let's move on to course categories. It says explore courses. So this is the explore courses. We can see medical, engineering, management, law, pharmacy, nursing, allied health sciences, PG courses, other courses. Let's click any one of them. So if we go on to engineering courses, you can see all the engineering courses are mentioned. If we go on to law courses, all law courses are mentioned. If we move on to testimonials, we can see nothing is mentioned in the testimonials page. That is error. The FAQ page is working nice. The contact page is working nice. Okay, if we hover over courses, you can see we can actually select which course to select from, but kind of going out of bounds, and it has not been implemented efficiently. If we click get free consultation, we are directed to the contact form. That is nice. Let's move on to Claude for Sonnet. Okay, we have crafting excellence. Loading. 10,000 students placed, 500 plus partner colleges, 15 plus year experience. So right off the back, you can see it looks a bit better, but the text that has been selected, it is not contrasting with the background. That is not nice. I do like the animation as of the page. You have expert counselors and all of this stuff. I do like the shadow effect that is coming. So aesthetically it is looking more professional and more production ready. If I scroll down, explore course categories, our proven process, step 1 2 3 4, the numbers are kind of overlapping. It says ready to transform your future, get free consultation. So let's hit get free consultation, and you can see we have these options. Comparatively, I would say I do like the contact form that I get here. It is very simple, and it feels a lot in place, whereas this is kind of out of proportion. We have the contact form. It says fill out the required fields, 0% completed. So if I hit the name, then it says 33% completed. You can see it turns into green. That is nice. We can select our education level. We can select our background stream, science, commerce, arts. So this is very nice. I like the contact form from Claude for Sonnet. We can also select our annual budget and preferred study location. And if we want to add any notes, even that will be added. We have 24/7 and all of that stuff here. Find us, get directions, but you can see in find us we don't see the map. Let's hit success stories. Okay, the success stories is not working, guys. It is present in the nav bar, but it's not working. Also the about is not working. That is a very big blunder, guys. About and success stories is not working. FAQ is working, contact page is working. It says your previous data has been restored. Okay, so the previous data was actually stored. That is nice. And we also get a notification. Also, you can see when we compare Qwen's drop down of the courses page, it is going out of bounds, whereas the courses drop down for Claude for Sonnet, it looks absolutely insane, and it is not going out of bounds or anything like that. So I personally believe that Qwen was actually better, guys, in agentic task. Whatever it has mentioned, all of that is working most of the cases. The testimonials page doesn't have anything. That is one blunder. Other than that, you can see at least we have some place where testimonials are showing up. That is not the case with the page that Claude for Sonnet has come up with. You can see front end aesthetics is actually better, and it has actually come up with a state of the art website, whereas Qwen's response is actually simple, but whatever it has implemented, it is working. So it says our story, and we can see the 16 years badge over here. So whatever it has implemented, guys, it is working. That is something that we should be aware of, but aesthetics is not that good. So this is our first task. I hope you were able to see the positives and negatives of both. Let's move on to the next task. Okay everyone, so this is what we are sending. Build a complete chess application where I can play with my friends. It should be a production ready application. If possible, include Stockfish as a computer so that we can play against computer in various levels. So we need to have human versus human and human versus computer modes. You are free to do whatever you want, but come up with a complete chess game application. That is the best you can do. So let's send this to both models. There is nothing in the code base, guys. So everything they have to build from scratch. We'll see what they come up with. Let's go over to the to-do list. So the Qwen's to-do list is create project structure in basic files, implement chess board and pieces, implement core chess game logic, add human versus human functionality, integrate Stockfish for computer play, create UI for game mode selection, add difficulty levels for computer opponent, implement game state management, add styling and make production ready. test all functionality. Moving on to Claude, it says set up project structure with frontend, React, TypeScript, and backend Node.js Express. Okay, that is some heavy stuff. Implement core chess game logic, move validation, chess, checkmate detection. It says create beautiful chessboard UI with drag and drop piece movement. Implement real-time multiplayer using socket.io for human versus human games. Integrate Stockfish engine for computer opponent. So you can see we can all agree that the to-do lists that Claude comes up with are more detailed. It says create game mode selection, human versus human, human versus computer. Add game history, move notation, timer, and game replay features. And error handling, logging, development configuration, and documentation. Okay, we are seeing some good agentic stuff, guys. It says I can see that there is a promote pawn function in the JavaScript, but it automatically promotes to a queen without giving the player a choice. The CSS has styling for promotion model, but there's no JavaScript implementation for it. That is nice, guys. Claude for Sonnet is actually starting the front end and the back end servers. That is nice. Let me close this, and to both of them we'll mention start the application I want to play. So this is what we'll be sending to both. So they will be starting the application in their respective manner. So we have to start the index app index.html. Okay, index.html. We have the game, guys. I think the game is implemented. Let's run this. We'll wait for Claude for Sonnet to actually start it. It has gone in a difficult route. So it has built React frontend and Node.js backend and all of that stuff, whereas Qwen 3 has gone for a simpler route. Similarly, in its first response, we built the application. Even there, it went for a simple implementation. But one thing I like about the Qwen model is it comes up with simple implementation, but it ensures that everything that is required is already there. You can see we have undo move, we have new game, all these stuff that should be there, we have it. Let's see if we are actually able to play. It says human. Let's enter our name and let's create game. So it says loading. It says room ID. Enter the room ID to join. I don't know if the backend for that is there or not. If I hit create game, we see loading. Let me share the screenshot and say that it's actually saying disconnected. Okay, finally I was able to debug and fix the issue with Claude for Sonnet. Clearly it was not working from the beginning. We have to admit that. So let's start a game with human versus computer and let's keep it at master level. Let's see if it actually works. It says this engine post message, it's not a function. So I think we don't have the Stockfish implementation. Anyways, let's play a human game. Let's see if other functionalities work. Okay, I'm trying to move the pieces, but it says the game not started. It says reset game, back to setup, move history, players and stuff like that. But I don't like the styling, guys. I think it is overdone. Whereas you can see the response that Qwen has come up with, it looks more minimalistic and things are where it should be. Nothing more, nothing less. So we'll play human versus human. Let's try it here if it works. Okay, I'm able to move the pieces. So since it's black's turn, I'm not able to move the pieces from white's perspective. That is nice. Let's see if we are able to actually do a checkmate. Before that, let's see if undo works. Okay, so undo is also working. So in the next move, there should be a checkmate and let's see if the checkmate actually works. Okay, so I've given a checkmate, but we don't see anything happening. There should be a message for checkmate, but we don't see any kind of message. So let's hit a new game and let's hit human versus computer and we'll set it expert. Let's see if it actually works. So I have moved a piece and okay, I think the computer is working, guys. I don't know how. Let's see if it's actually intelligent enough. So I will give my queen as a bait, and if it's intelligent enough, it should take my queen. So it should have taken my queen, but that didn't happen. Okay, the king captured. So the computer is working, guys. I don't know how, if Stockfish is actually working in the backend or not. I'm not aware of that. Maybe it is playing just random moves, but the king capture was nice. So whatever is playing the game, guys, it is a dumb computer, I guess, and the moves are just random. Maybe I'm not sure, but comparatively I have to say it is better. Whereas here it says the game has not started. I don't know for what reason. Let's create a new game and let's see if it works. Okay, it says game not started again. So comparatively I have to say that Qwen was actually better. We were actually able to play a game. The implementation was simple. That's the reason it was able to, I think, get things done. I did ask to come up with the best implementation it could possibly come up with, and Claude has tried to do it. It didn't get the basics right. By the way, guys, you have to consider that we are using the non-thinking variant of Claude Sonnet. So that is something you should take into consideration. From what I have seen in the agentic coding, I can see that the agentic capabilities of Qwen model is comparatively better, but the aesthetics, the front-end design and aesthetics is not its strong point. Claude is simply better. So if you have to do any kind of design, and if you are trying to build a website, then I think Claude for Sonnet will be the one to go. You can fix the errors later with the Qwen model if you want. But if you are doing anything related to front end, and if your application requires a front end, you are done with the back end and you want to do the front end, then I think Claude for Sonnet will be better. Qwen, on the other hand, will help you to build a functional yet minimalistic kind of application. We saw the front end aesthetics were good but not that great. So if you want to just get stuff done and don't want much errors, I think Qwen will be better. But if you ask my recommendation, I would say the best duo will be Claude for Sonnet thinking for front end and OpenAI O3 for back end. So this is something off topic, but that is what I use daily. So that is the reason I wanted to share that. Talking about these two models, I hope I was able to show you their strengths and weaknesses. You can come up with your own conclusions if you want. So I hope you enjoyed this thorough testing of these two models. We did raw coding performance and we also did agentic coding. If you liked this video and liked the effort, please to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and please ensure that you hit the notification bell to all so that you are able to get information about the latest videos that I'm going to upload. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked this video. With that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.